Well, underneath this cover, maybe that'll give it away, is a vintage, what I'd like to say 1980s Simplicity Snowblower. Let me go ahead and take this cover off. That's getting snow all over me. There it is. Not quite sure what the model number is. Like some snow got in here. But this is the snowblower I'm going to be using. It's been sitting like this for close to a week now. I did try looking online to see what information I could dig up on this snowblower, although it's of the age that there's practically no information about it online. Although from the limited information I was able to turn up via eBay listings of service and owner's manuals, it looks like this snowblower was made sometime in the late 70s or even the early 80s. And it runs just fine. It just needs a carburetor cleaning and it'll be good as new. Not bad for a 30-plus-year-old snowblower. That shed wasn't too lucky with the snow this year. So I think this is going to be a pretty good cold start. Thankfully, I've got an extension cord, so I could use the electric start. This does have provisions for an electronic starter, as well as a manual starter. I just got to drag it up to the outlet, get it plugged in. Okay, well I actually ended up having to bring the extension cord over here. There's no way I'm getting up through all that snow. Here's the control panel. It's completely buried in snow. Just a huge wave of snow that fell off a tree above. Here's the electric starter. Okay, got that hooked up. Let's see, choke on. Carburetor's actually a bit dirty. Choke's out. Yep, we're going to need to prime a bit more. I actually forgot that the ignition switch was turned off, so that probably helps. You can definitely tell that this snowblower's been sitting a while. Its carburetor definitely needs to be cleaned thoroughly. Let's go try that again. Click on. A bit stubborn this morning. Now, unfortunately, my original commentary got drowned out with the motor noise, so I'll have to fill you in with this voiceover. You do have a throttle control, although I had to leave that at pretty high idle because anything less than medium to high speed and it stalls. Again, a product of a dirty carburetor. And the choke and the primer bulb need a bit of work. Unfortunately, the choke doesn't seem to want to stick properly, and so that's why I kept pulling it in and out before I attempted to start this thing. And the primer bulb just sits there deflated all the time. It's obviously not at all how it should work. So both of those things are going to need a bit of work. But bearing all those things in mind, it's still a really nice snowblower, especially for its age. As is common on most snowblowers, you can run this one at two different speeds, one that's comparable to walking and another one that's quite a bit faster. You could also put it into reverse and neutral. For comparison's sake, that's how much snow we got. And it's still coming down. I'm going to put the camera away in just a moment. But I do know that these handycams are pretty well equipped when it comes to being somewhat weatherproof. And here's one of my footprints. See, place that in quite deep, especially with snow drifts. You know, what's this? Interesting.